guys? I got a couple of reptile videos out that I put out in the past. And the reason I've decided to make this video with showing some of my snakes is because I'm on Facebook and there's a lot of forums that I'm a member of, like different reptile forums about snakes and tarantulas and whatnot. And I noticed that there's always, preferably young kids, teenagers, who always talk about what kind of snakes they want to get and what's a good beginner snake. If I'm going to recommend a good beginner snake, a lot of people recommend ball pythons, which is a great choice. If I'm going to recommend a beginner snake, I personally would go with a corn snake. They're a little less big. They do get pretty long, but I think they have a little bit more of a better personality than a ball python does. I think they're a little bit more better to hold. Ball pythons just kind of like to be left alone. They're kind of shy, hence their name ball python. They kind of get up into a little ball. They don't really want to be disturbed. Both are really, really great. I recommend both. Corn snake's probably a little bit cheaper. You can get those. So I could show you guys some of my collection. I got a bunch of arachnids. I could show you guys. I go through the list of what I have that we can take some of them out and I can show you what I have. Right here I got a tangerine milk snake. I actually just got these two today. I got a tangerine milk snake and named him Duke. I got a children's python. I got a pastel ball. I got a regular corn snake, a normal ball python. I got a Dumerul's boa, which I named Kane. He's pretty big. I got Rocky, which is a western hognose. I got Ava. She's a bumblebee python. I got Brock. He's a Brooks king snake, which they pretty much hail from Florida. I got named him Pablo. He's a Pueblan milk snake. I got Heidi. She's a regular corn, and then I have Chelsea, who is another corn snake. And I'll show you guys, some of the cool colors of them. Like I said, I just got this guy today. He bit my other son. And, he's new. He's probably not used to being handled much. I'm not afraid of getting bit by him. Obviously, he's kind of shy. He's gonna strike, whatever. No big deal. This is him as a tangerine milk snake. Like I said, he's a little shy. I just got him today. He's not used to being held. These are really, really pretty markings. These snakes come from North America and all the way down to South America, so they have kind of a long range. This is my children's python.
Good with children, hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name. Good with children. The reason they call these children's pythons is because these stay extremely small for a ball. I mean, obviously he's going to get a little bit bigger, not much. He's a good snake. I just got him today. He just took a piss in my hand. That's no big deal. You can see how small these are. He's a male. These come from Madagascar, which is an island in the Indian Ocean. About 250 miles off of South Africa. So, children's pythons, they're really good for handling. You can see I just got these two today. The other ones I've had for a while. But yeah, I like him a lot. He's not going to get too much bigger, which easy to take care of. This is Lou. He's kind of shy. He's my pastel ball. You can see him. He's in the middle of a shed right now. That's why you can see how white his eyes are. He's getting the shed. He's actually shedding the skin. When he sheds, as soon as he's done with this, another week or so, he'll be in a nice bright yellow with the black patterns. You can see he looks demonic because if you can see, his eyes are really, really cloudy. You could tell when they're about to shed because their eyes get real cloudy. So they usually don't like to be handled when they're in the middle of a shed. They get kind of shy. They don't like to be bothered. So then we got Frank. He's probably my favorite snake that I have, and the reason I say that is because he's really nosy. Whenever I come in here to feed my animals, or
You want to pull it out and show them?
I'll pull it out and show you guys. He's always got his face out. He likes to stick his face out. He all of a sudden he's hiding away right now. He's getting kind of shy, but you guys will like him. He's a sweetheart. He's right here. I'll take him off for you guys so you can see him. This guy's a goober. He likes to be handled a lot. He likes to come out. It's like when you try to put him back, he doesn't even want to go back in his cage. He just likes to hang out with everybody. See that beautiful face of his? But personality-wise, I think he's always making a mess of his cage. I keep my cages spotless, but he likes to, wrinkle up the... And another thing, too, I see a lot of people doing is... People ask a lot of questions. What's a good substrate to use for snakes? Some people use pine and astroturf, which holds a lot of bacteria. Some people use newspapers, which is great. I personally, and you can get a box of them like this for like $20, a box of 100. I like to use these puppy pads. And the reason I use that is because, for one, they absorb a lot of urine. You can fold them up. I have some bacterial spray around here that I use for my reptiles. I can show that to you after. They're easier to use than the newspapers, and they're a lot more cleaner. And a lot of times too is when someone's buying a snake. A lot of times, sometimes people have bought a snake and their snake's loaded with mites. If your snake has mites, you're gonna know it almost instantly with these things because you'll be able to see if your snake has mites right away. I had a snake that I got from Petco a long time ago that had mites, and it was an absolute nightmare to take care of, to try to get that thing back to health, and obviously it didn't do any good. I will never buy another snake from Petco again. I'm not saying they're all bad, but you want to get them from a good breeder. This is Junior. He's a regular normal ball python. He's an absolute sweetheart. He used to love escaping his old cage. I had a that's why I prefer these snake bins. They're a lot easier to deal with than having a snake. 'Cause snakes are like Houdinis. They like to pop out of every cage, no matter which cage you put them in. They find a way to escape. This is Rocky. He's my Western hognose. He just obviously just pooped. Now these snakes are very defensive. They do have a mild venom. They're a rear fang snake. A lot of times with these, what I recommend doing until you get them in your hands is use a pair of snake tongs. Once you get him in your hand, he's completely good. You never know what kind of reaction. You can see him kind of puffing up his head. Hear him hissing. You can hear him hissing. But then once you hold him in your hand, and you know who you are. You see how he's puffing up his head? In a few seconds, watch how flat his head goes. He'll calm right down. Just kind of get him, used to being held. I've never been bit by him at all. He's struck at everybody a bunch of times. Once he knows he's not in any harm, then he calms down. These snakes they're kind of tiny. They'll get bigger.
How would you describe the venom of a hognose?
The venom of a hognose is, it's the same thing as like a bee. You can get stung by 20 bees. You can get stung by 20 bees and be completely fine. Or the guy up the street might get stung by one bee and go in anaphylactic shock. So, never say, they can't hurt you, because you never know. But for those snakes to bite you, they have to kind of bite you, latch on you, and kind of chew on you to actually get their fangs to penetrate. So, as long as you're not letting them chew on you, you'll be fine. This is Ava. She's my bumblebee python. She's a sweetheart. Now, when these snakes first came out, the original snake was done by Kevin Hurley. He's the guy at Zoo Creatures, New England Reptile Distributors. When these snakes first came out, they were about, I think these snakes went up to something like $20,000 when they first came out. People were selling these things for 10, 20 grand. Only paid a few hundred for her. She's definitely worth it. In another couple of years, she'll be ready to breed with pretty much anything. A ball, normal ball, a pastel ball. I don't really plan on breeding her with anything, but at least I know she's worth some money. She's still young. She's only a little over, maybe about a year and a half old. She's a little sweetheart. She's really, really shy. So that's her. This guy is my Brooks King snake. He used to be the funnest snake ever to hold. All of a sudden, overnight, he turned out to be a little prick.
He seems to strike at everybody.
He likes to strike at everybody. He's got a really good feeding response. He's not. I don't think he's trying to be aggressive. It's just I think he smells all the other snakes, because king snakes will eat rattlesnakes. They'll eat pretty much any snake you put in front of them. So, but he likes to kind of like dart out. Obviously, he just wanted to. I just changed all these cages today. You can kind of see how fast he is. With him, he kind of smells the other snakes on me, so that's why he can kind of be pissy sometimes. Normally, he doesn't try to bite. I'm not usually afraid to hold him. He's usually pretty good, but sometimes when he smells the other snake on you, he'll try to bite you. He's bitten my the guy holding the camera a few times. So I just changed this pad a little while ago. I gotta change it again. So that's
the guy holding the camera.
The guy holding the camera. Yeah, he bites them all the time. This is my Pueblan snake, Pueblan milk snake. This guy, he's real flighty. He's a beautiful snake though, Pablo. One thing I notice about milk snake is they go into lapses where they don't want to eat anything. Sometimes he goes a month where he doesn't want to eat nothing. I'll put a mouse in there every week, seeing how he is. They're really picky. I don't know. It's my experience with milk snakes. I mean, they're good. They're good snakes. This is Heidi. She's a really small corn. She's just a baby. I kind of have things under here to make it tight so she doesn't escape. She's a little doll. She's kind of flighty. Obviously,
She's extremely flighty.
She's going all over the place. Relax, darling. Relax. See, once you get her in your hand, once she'll calm down a little bit. She's gonna get big. Usually females get bigger than the males. She likes to make a mess of her cage. I call her Heidi, and it's because she's always hiding. She's always shying away from people. So once she's out, she doesn't seem to want to go back in. Go ahead, go back in. And then we have Chelsea, my female corn. She's an absolute monster. She's one of my favorite things. She looks like she's about to go into a shit because she's not kind of dulling out on me. But you don't see too many corn snakes bigger than this. I've seen a few bigger than this, but not many. You can see, I was actually going to try to mate her with Frank, the other corn snake you saw me holding a little while ago. Got the room, extra warm for them. Tried to get it on with them, but I don't think anything happened. So it's probably better that it didn't. So that's it for my snakes. I did have a Nelson's milk snake that when I first got these bins, kind of underestimated how loose this was, and he got out a few months ago, and I haven't been able to find him since. So I do have a 5-bedroom house. My house is pretty big, so I keep water up for him. So I know if there's water available, he'll find it. I'm confident that I'll be able to find him. I know some people who are afraid of snakes don't ever want to come over here. I've never had a problem with anything else other than him. I just kind of underestimated how small, how big this gap was, and he got out. So that's it for my snakes. This is Wang. He's my bearded dragon. He's a character and a half. I've shown him off in a bunch of videos. He kind of gets nervous when he's around the snakes. He kind of like bobs his head up and down. But he's good.
Staring.
A lot of people with these is you want to mix up a fair amount of insects like dubia roaches, hornworms, crickets, mealworms. Don't give them on the mealworms. Try the superworms. They have the less chitin in them, so they get to absorb. They get to digest the superworms better than the regular mealworms. And never give a bearded dragon avocados. They're it's like really toxic to them. So, give them regular fruits. They eat like carrots and stuff like that. Some melons every now and then, but they like a lot of green, so just give them that. So my tarantula collection right here, I have Rhonda. She's just a regular rose here. You can see her; she's kind of hiding down in there. She's kind of shy. Take a quick peek at her down there. I'll show you my other ones. Right here I have Mirko. She's an Arizona blonde. These, in my tarantula experience, this is one of the most slowest growing tarantulas I've ever seen in my life. I mean, these things, I've had her for over a year. She's never molted once. So she's a female because of the lighter brown. The males are more darker. That's not usually how you can tell a tarantula, but with these ones you can. So yeah, she's a sweetheart. I like handling her. She's really, really gentle. Go ahead, darling. Go ahead. But, and right here, if you're inexperienced with tarantulas, don't ever get one of these. I named him Lucifer. He's an Indian ornamental. Out of all tarantulas in the world, they have one of the most toxic venoms, one of the most aggressive tarantulas. They're more of an arboreal species, but like to hang up on the top of the cage. They spin a few webs and like to catch their prey mid-flight, and they're pretty good. I mean, I could throw a cricket in there and it'll grab it out of the air. It's pretty crazy. I got two. I'm keeping these in small containers until they get older because there's no point of making huge tanks. I have about 10 tanks downstairs that I haven't even used yet. So these are Brazilian pink salmon bird eaters, the Lacidora parabonas. Some people just call them LPs. These are both unsexed. I'm pretty sure that this one right here is a female and this one's a male. Sometimes the abdomen's a little bit bigger on the females and they get usually much bigger than the males. But in another year, these two will probably be about that big. And they're the fastest growing tarantula of any kind. Right here, I'll show you this one first. This is my other rose here. She's a pretty good size. You can see how big they get. She's really good for handling. Right here, I got a Costa Rican zebra. These are one of the more faster handling tarantulas. They're more jittery, more nervous. Well, once you get these out, they're kind of hard to hold. I held him a few times, but he's kind of nervous. Right here, I got Sanchez, my Mexican red leg. You can kind of see him in there. He's still young. He's got another couple of years to grow. Then over here I have Sting. He is my my forest giant scorpion. You can see him right there. He's kind of a jerk. He only held him a few times, but he's an arachnid, so you gotta be careful with those. There ain't nothing pretty much I won't hold. Only I don't like holding the centipedes. It's the only thing that you probably couldn't pay me enough to hold one of those things. And this right here, I named him Mr. Braithwaite. If any of y'all know the movie Enter the Dragon, one of Bruce Lee's friends was named Mr. Braithwaite. So I don't know why I named him that. He is a Russian tortoise. These things eat pretty much mostly greens.
Quite the goof.
He likes to show off in front of the camera. You can see his little feet. He's an absolute. He likes when you pat him. When you pat him in the head, he likes that. These things is mostly greens, grasses, some flowers. Feed him some kale sometimes. You're not really supposed to feed these things any fruits because the sugar is bad for them. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Every time I say I'm not going to get any more animals, I always seem to get one more. So I wouldn't consider myself a hoarder. I mean, you can see these cages are pretty much immaculate. I clean them every other day for the ones, except for the ones who just went to the bathroom now. I keep my tanks spotless. And if you're going to get a reptile, don't buy a reptile unless you're going to take care of it, because these things don't buy you, you buy them. So you get into you get out of it what you put into it. If you take care of them, they're going to know. Make sure they have water. That's the most important thing. They don't have to eat every week. Sometimes they can eat every 2 weeks. Don't power feed them to get them big, because it's just going to screw up their liver and their kidneys. Don't ever power feed anything. I don't recommend that to nobody. And that's pretty much it. But if you're ever going to go with a beginner snake, I'd either recommend a ball python or a corn snake. They're probably the two of the best you can get. Let me show you guys. I can show you guys this one real quick. I saved the best for last. This is Kane. He's my Dumeral's boa. He's an absolute monster of a snake. He is extremely strong. For him, these are from another thing from Madagascar. These are more of a ground boa. So when you first get these snakes, they kind of like hold on to you tight. And the reason for that is because they're used to being on the ground. If you hold them and they don't feel steady, they're gonna squeeze onto you tight. It's not an aggressive thing. These snakes, it looks like little gingerbread men. They're from Madagascar as well. They're really, really good snakes. If you ever want to get a boa that doesn't get extremely big like a red tail, I recommend getting a Dumeral's or maybe a rosy boa. He acts like an asshole when you get him out, because he likes to try to get into the. He likes to stay out, so you got to get him in. You got to get him back in pretty quick. But that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them my way. Thank you.